everybody. Welcome back to the basketball edition of the Huddle. I'm reporter Ruth Lang here with sports editor Mike Brown. And I would say the big news in girls basketball this week was West Branch defeating Carrollton, which was another unbeaten. That was a battle of the unbeatens.
It sure was, Ruth, and that's a really big step for West Branch. You know, they're off to a 5-0 start, and they've really beaten some good teams. They beat Bellevue in a tournament to open the year, and they go to Carrollton, the team that beat them twice last year. The West Branch girls got to the regional final within a game of going to Columbus, but two of their losses in the regular season were to Carrollton, and they didn't win their league because of that. Well, now they've kind of turned the tables on them. They went to Carrollton Saturday and got that early league win, so I think they've got a leg up in the league.
Mm-hmm. And the Coach Walt DeShields, he really attributed that as a team win, not just didn't pinpoint any one player.
That's right. They had good bounty. Obviously Melinda Trimmer had her outstanding game, but they had some other players step up and to win on the road at Carrollton. Carrollton does not lose girls basketball games at home. That is a rarity of rarities. So that's really a good win for West Branch.
I mean, that's what you want to see. You want to see that camaraderie, all that teamwork.
Absolutely.
Something that we also saw in the Alliance girls game versus Heartland Christian Monday. They really just soundly defeated that team, but that was, again, all-around good play from all the girls on that team.
Absolutely. They had good balanced scoring, and they rolled in that, and great defense. I mean, they held Heartland Christian to 9 points in a basketball game. I mean, that's amazing. So that tells me they're doing a good job. That program is getting better by the game this year, and it's really nice to see for the Alliance girls basketball program.
Sebring girls coming off a win Saturday at Southington, unfortunately just lost an inter-tri-county league match to Columbiana at home last night.
Right.
They did open strong, but the pressure, the full court press that Columbiana was throwing on them was just too much for them to handle, I think.
Right. Columbiana's got a great girls basketball program. I mean, they're one of the better small school programs around. So, and Sebring, Sebring lost Kelsey Settle to graduation from last year, and she was such a presence inside for them. But Sebring's got the great outside game, but I think that working on their inside game is going to be a work in progress there for them.
Marlington the Marlington girls also came with a win over Alliance, even though they didn't have one of their top scorers, Morgan Pennard, who was out with a concussion. That happened in the Wyndham game, I believe.
Yes, that's right. I'll tell you what, the Marlington girls have a very good basketball team. Coach Terry Rose doing a great job with the Lady Dukes, and I'll tell you what, not too far down the road, they're going to host West Branch here in a week or so. That's going to be a good game. And I think the Marlington girls are right in the thick of the NBC title chase this winter.
And switching over to the boys, definitely a nail-biter in the Marlington versus Carrollton matchup.
Yeah.
That went into overtime, but the Dukes unfortunately lost with 1 point.
Right. Marlington had gotten off to a good start, went to Carrollton, lost a really tough one by a point at the Black Hole again. It's tough to win at Carrollton, but I think Marlington and Nick Evanich are doing a good job. He's got some nice young talent. They've got the big center back, and I think Marlington's going to be a real factor in the NBC title chase as well.
Coming off a Friday night loss at Canton South, Alliance edged out Struthers 69-62 on the road as part of the Hope Showcase Classic.
Yeah, that's a good win for Alliance. Larry Kakura's got a really young team this year, and they went over there to Struthers in the tournament, and they got their second win of the season. Alliance is 2-2 with a really young team in that game, and had some players step up, and they're doing a good job. And I know Alliance is going to be good sooner than later this year, even though they're very young.
And Sebring also took a win, 61-45 against Leetonia, and they just really were using their size, I think, in that game.
Absolutely, and the thing about Sebring, Ruth, they're coming off that win. Now, Sebring plays double duty. They play on Tuesday night, and obviously people are going to be seeing this after they played that game, but they're going to be playing on Tuesday night. And then Sebring turns around and has a Wednesday night game this year. They will play Heartland Christian. They will host them on Wednesday night. So for a chance for them to get a couple wins this week through the middle of the week.
Also remaining unbeaten, St. Thomas boys. Louisville also took a win over West Branch for boys action.
Right. West Branch went over to Louisville, played the Leopards tough for 3 quarters, and then Louisville really turned it on the 4th quarter and kind of pulled away from the Warriors. And St. Tom, what can you say about them? They're the defending Division IV state runner-up. They've got most of the players back from that team last year. They're off to a 3-0 start. They're just rolling again, and that's going to be fun to see how that plays out again. I think that's going to play out very well for the Knights this year.
Other scheduled matchups this week?
Yeah, we've got a full schedule. It's kind of a strange schedule. We don't have as many Tuesday night games for the boys as usual. We do have, we talked about the Sebring game on Wednesday night. Then on Friday night, we've got the big area rivalry when the Alliance Aviators host the Marlington Dukes, and that's always a great game. It's always a fun game to be at in the stands there because of the atmosphere. It's electric. And when those two get together in anything, it's really good. And also Friday night, West Branch goes to Carrollton for boys, and Sebring goes down to the Ohio River, and they're going to play the Wellsville Tigers on Friday night as well.
We'll have coverage of all those in the review, also online at www.the-review.com. Also, you can follow us on Twitter at allrevsports. For the Huddle, we'll see you next week.